Now, HPE and Juniper are just two of the latest companies to make headlines in the very active AI space. And joining me now to talk more about it is John Furrier, co-founder and co-CEO of SiliconANGLE. Good morning, John.
Trinity, great to see you. Thanks for having me here.
It's great to have you. And you know, we were talking about AI, how it's making headlines. Let's talk about, first of all, what you're doing here, SiliconANGLE, theCUBE, and the event that you're hosting here at the Exchange.
So we're excited to be partnering with you guys on many levels, but here Juniper is celebrating the anniversary, as you pointed out, and they being acquired by HPE changes the game in networking. That's the sector that Juniper's known for, and networking is one of those three things, that's the three building blocks that we all know: compute, storage, and networking. And in AI right now, the hottest thing is the infrastructure, and the networking is where the action is, and Juniper's got this event. They're celebrating with their customers 15 years, but huge announcements. AI native networking is what they're calling it, and this is kind of going to change the game and shift and accelerate more application developers. So Gen AI is hot right now, it's kind of hyped up, but this will accelerate the action.
Let's talk about this acquisition specifically. How do you think that it's going to redefine the overall landscape, right, when it comes to AI and technology, especially when this is when it finally goes through?
Well, I think HPE acquiring Juniper is a big move for HPE. This puts a big portfolio element with networking, but not just networking. They had Aruba Networks, but with Juniper they had Mist, which is their AI, which has been growing like a weed. This has been a great product for Juniper. It changed the nature of the company, and now HPE has the full package. They have GreenLake, they have the cloud play, and with networking, they can accelerate the technology innovation that's going to enable the wave, this Cambrian explosion of generative AI applications. And you can see it right out there, the developers going crazy. They need networking.
Yeah.
And this is going to fill a big void in the market. It's going to accelerate a lot of change.
Absolutely. Talk to me about some of the headlines that you're covering on your shows.
Well, all the action is in the infrastructure right now. Everyone's kind of waiting for this next layer to kind of flip. It's almost there. NVIDIA's stock's on all-time high. You see software is a big part. The biggest story in generative AI is the hardware and software together at the kernel level. I know it's a geeky term, but you're getting down to the kernel level. We heard that with CrowdStrike, the kernel access. So you're starting to see developers go down to the hardware level, and that's where the networking plays. So Juniper's and HPE is perfectly positioned to capture this next wave. It's going to be pretty incredible to watch, and certainly it'll change the game in the industry.
Are there any startups that you're specifically excited about in this space when it comes to AI and tech?
Well, I think there's two types of startups. There's the big language models that are getting smaller, faster, cheaper, so you're going to really run these large language models on smaller machines like PCs and devices. But the semiconductor boom right now, we just had the AI native networking event, the AI infrastructure event with you guys in Palo Alto. The leaders are not just the big chip companies, they're startups.
Yeah.
So in the semiconductor area and semiconductor software, I see a lot of action. We're covering a lot of startups in that area.
And you know, it's also at the forefront of conversations around the world, especially here on Wall Street, obviously cybersecurity. You know, we were just at Black Hat where you hosted an amazing event there as well. So let's talk about some of the biggest key takeaways from that convention.
The big takeaways from the cybersecurity market is it's a data problem and a risk management problem. So you look at all the nerdy conversation with technologies. At the end of the day, it's massive scale of data. So you're starting to see new techniques with generative AI accelerating the good guys to fight the bad guys. And the bad guys have AI too. So it's an arms race right now. Who could get that AI technology up faster?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's a cat and mouse game, right? Because I mean, all Gen AI, cloud solutions, cloud data, you know, everything we have access to, right? But so do the bad actors. So it's like, how do you stay innovative? How do you stay ahead of those conversations and ahead of the curve before the bad guys do?
Well, threat detection's one big one, but now that the generative AI is coming in, the surface area for attacks are expanding. So the tech companies have to look at their platforms to be smarter, faster, and how they identify threats. And then two, how do they close them down? And then how do they make it more complex? I mean, think barbed wire on a fence. You got to make it a little bit harder for the bad guys. They're still going to get in, but ultimately Gen AI will give some great instrumentation. I think we're going to have a full surveillance culture around AI because the security threats are real. And we saw CrowdStrike, we saw what the damage is done, the disruption. I mean, Delta Airlines had thousands and thousands of flights. We in the real world see that and go, what happened? Well, they had kernel level access and they're running Microsoft Windows. So we see that, and that's only going to get worse. So I think Juniper, the HPE, these kinds of new software techniques, Trinity, is where the world's going. So we're going to see a whole nother generation of companies, brands emerge. That's why I'm focusing on the semis right now and I'm looking at the data piece, because those two areas, the flip will script.
A lot to look out for.
The script will flip.
Well, we have to go to our live coverage in the boardroom now, but thank you so much, John, for joining me. It's always great to have you.